Hey guys, Kevin Cage back with another cryptocurrency update. Welcome to the channel. Like and subscribe if you're serious about the digital asset space. And let's get right into it today. So to kick things off, I wanted to share a quote from Executive Chairman Chris Larsen, and then I want to show you an important video clip of him actually talking about stablecoins and why his belief is that XRP is actually better sufficient for liquidity in handling high value payments. So right here, this infographic is made by Status. Again, his website is status.hr. Highly recommend checking it out. And Chris Larsen says, quote, "We don't see the need for the world to have a new currency. We see the need for a better way of moving existing currencies. Enter XRP as that bridge asset, providing the ample liquidity, guys, being that financial lubrication for the financial system." Okay? Essentially, not replacing, but updating and complementing the existing SWIFT legacy system of correspondent banking. Right here, Real XRP Boy just sharing this 30-second clip. Listen to this. Now, this is actually, again, Chris Larsen and then Allison McCauley, author and CEO, Unblocked Future. Here we are. So Silicon Valley Innovation Leadership Week, creating a Cambrian explosion. And essentially, Chris Larsen uses this analogy a lot and talks about kind of globalization finally coming together with value, data, logistics, goods, etc. So here we go.
That would be end state incredibly successful and would be constructive for the world. So they just help lubricate the movement of other things of value, whether they be fiat or they be gaming assets or, stock, anything, right? So they are supplemental, they don't replace. Within, how to categorize them, Libra is obviously a stable coin. Generally, I'm not super excited about stable coins. I kind of don't get it. Why? Why not just use a fiat then? If it's just going to be backed by fiat, and then you got the counterparty who has to maintain it. I just don't get it. I think it's a trend. Anyway,
I wanted to share that clip because of all the regulation coming down on stable coins that are pegged or backed, perhaps one-to-one. Again, a lot of these will not be real long-term viable solutions, especially as a liquidity tool such as XRP. So again, these founders, they had this in mind since the very beginning. In terms of regulation, it's already a done deal. We have people from BlackRock, the biggest, asset fund manager in the world. I mean, they're on the Ripple board. We have, what is the gentleman's name? Ben Losky, who helped essentially draft and create the bit license itself. And then, them actually joining Ripple. To me, there's no question. They are working with regulators from day one. All right. And a lot of people that, kind of spread fear or negativity, don't understand these things, and they haven't done the years of research to back this. All right, I wanted to share this really quick. So 2015, Department of Finance, Canada. So I am Legion sharing this. And guys, I am showing you the backing and the information of this company, different proof of concepts in backing to show you how deep this rabbit hole goes. And I'll also share some current news with this as well. But I just want to put all of this information out so you have it in front of you to further your research and make your own decision. Me, I am the biggest XRP bull there is. So right here, Ripple as an innovative solution to the ways we pay. June 2015, submission to the Department of Finance to Canada. All right, so I'm going to speed through this. And again, this is from Ripple Labs, talking about an introduction, of course, improving its retail payment system through innovation. All right, and of course, consulting. Ripple's been a longtime consultant for the Bank of International Settlements and International Monetary Fund, as met with the Trump administration even back in 2018. And there's a few things I want to go over. And if you want to pause, of course, we had the link sourced here as well. But just talking about the fragmented payment system, it limits interoperability. It's forcing reliance on numerous intermediaries and middlemen. It's adding costs and delays to settlements. Even a video I was listening to today, I think DAI posted it. And it was CEO Brad Garlinghouse discussing that a lot of people actually have to pay JP Morgan, for liquidity. It's just very, very unnecessary, right? There's a banking monopoly occurring. The tier one banks are making all the profits. And then we're hearing this vernacular of leveling the playing field. So right here, Ripple enhances existing compliance programs. Now, this is RippleNet, the software itself. So customer onboarding and know your customer compliance, they're not changing that at all. So it's not solving every single issue, but this is for financial institutions in their payment process. We have AML and transaction monitoring. It's improved. It's end-to-end and it's fund traceability, okay? Back and forth. You have bidirectional messaging. You have, accurate fee confirmation, as we can see here, confirming, the FX rates, conversions, and it's very, very quick. And the rates aren't going to change. And ideally, when they foster more liquidity, there's more people buying and selling. The market makers, of course, are receiving ROIs and are incentivized. It's going to attract traders, speculators, you name it, and create this true marketplace. Payment status, real-time confirmation, and then the fund transfer and settlement itself, Ripple. Okay. Again, and then what does it say right here? Yeah, Ripple altogether offers a low-cost solution for seamless multi-currency settlements with broader reach than many existing or emerging options. And I know in the video yesterday, I did show that Ripple was already, at least their software, is utilized with almost all of the banks in the world. And I will post my most recent video down below. It is on my second channel, so please check that out. That is part 2 of that part 1 video series. Right here, access to low value and micro payments for the first time, right? Talking about high value transactions as well, minimizing costs, making real-time settlements of low value and micro payments. Remember, streaming of value will be the future as well, right? Making it economical for a bank to introduce low value cross-border payment products that are not possible today, perhaps attacking the unbanked populations, those with maybe only mobile phones and mobile banking, all right? Huge, and we know it's billions, okay? And again, payment experience 24/7, 365, when and where you want your money. So I'm just going to skip through this and let you guys read this, the conclusion. Again, the same narrative we see today, right? High barriers to direct competition or participation in payment networks that's fragmented, costs, risks, counterparties, inefficiencies. We get it. It's antiquated, old, 40 years old, just as we've heard also, Trump talking about the payment system of the United States, even domestic payment rails. It's time to update. And that is why we're seeing banks around the globe doing, embracing the RTP platform, real-time payments, and that is domestic. All right. Now I'm going to speculate. It may, use RippleNet software, but I'm looking for XRP utility, and that will, without a doubt, come from cross-border payments, international payments. Could XRP be used domestically? Well, we'll speculate a little bit, and I can't rule anything out, but I'm not going to be banking on that by any means. Right here, Ripple enables not just banks, central banks, guys. These are the ones they are tackling, the correspondent banking network. They want to replace and utilize IOP, the XRP ledger, and XRP to settle these payments and create this true marketplace. You can issue tokens on them, whatever you want. The future is coming. So regulators to seamlessly connect payment systems without forfeiting their autonomy or select a single settlement currency. Further, end-to-end transaction monitoring vastly improves transparency of fund flows and reduces the cost of compliance. There's too many benefits to even keep track of. I mean, we can see, of course, reducing reserve requirements, these pre-funded accounts, and competitive funding markets allow banks to offer greater payment reach at lower costs. Distributed network reduces the systemic risk. There's not a central point of failure or a single point, as it says here, replacing the non-competitive foreign exchange market with a fully competitive currency and funding market. Real-time bilateral settlement reduces or eliminates altogether many of the operational costs. This is simply the future. The people backing and funding the company are some of the biggest names in the industry, guys. Just want to emphasize that. And this is straight directly to, the Department of Finance in Canada in 2015. So imagine where we have gotten 5 years from then. Of course, we already have essentially the entire country of India in the pipeline, one of the BRICS nations as well. Now, Miguel Valles, former CME executive, left and is now head of XRP markets for Ripple. This clip is from 2017, shared by Status. Again, must follow here on Twitter. Now, Bank of England is using Ripple's technology and Interledger protocol, the underlying protocol for value in the future of the Internet of Value. Now, there can be other protocols, don't get me wrong, but I think that since they've been gifted and utilized by the W3C, it is, there's a higher probability of success for them. Nothing is guaranteed. Please do your own research, but I just want to show you some compelling pieces of evidence. So let's just hear it here. Again, just talking about a mere proof of concept that a central bank is using. Nonetheless, it is good to see that they're already trialing Ripple's technology.
Have a certain amount of confidence in working with you now because you have been legitimized a little bit. and there's also like this, you've joined the club of getting fined because every bank has gotten fined for something. So it ended up actually not being something bad at all for the bank use case, and helping the company quite a bit. And you've seen, I mean, look, we work with 90 banks globally. We have 15 in production deployments. It has helped the organization become enterprise grade, to the point where, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the Bank of England announcement today, but Bank of England is using our technology to POC payments internationally using Ripple Solution and IOP. Have a certain amount of confidence in working with you now because you have.
All right, so proof is in the partnerships right there. So again, Miguel Valles, 2017, talking about their partners. Of course, Ripple now is closer to 300 to 400 partners there. Also connected with Temenos, a banking software with 3,000 customers. We have Finastra with 9,000 customers in 48 of the top 50 banks in the world. Again, you have to look at the partners of partners and follow Pareto's law in the 80-20 principle. Right? So remember, Swift with their market share is about 11,000, give or take. This number fluctuates. We are actually relatively there or close to it, perhaps on RippleNet technology. But what we are waiting for is liquidity to open up. Perhaps the regulations are already here behind the scenes, but we are waiting. Right? This is a speculative market, still nascent. Some people believe that something could happen by end of year and be rather explosive with a price set. And anything is possible. I don't want to hype you up. Otherwise, the long route is that it will take a few years to truly develop this. But we've heard David Schwartz say, CTO of Ripple, that 2021, it will be too late, which is leading me to believe that some potential price set or scaling is very possible. Now, again, Brady Niels, audit me please on Twitter, actually made a good point, and I did like it. I saw it earlier, and he was just saying, if a president in the past, referencing, I believe, Roosevelt, changed the price of gold before, remember that President Roosevelt actually had everybody sell the gold, or sell their gold in exchange for, say, $20 per ounce, and then later on, a month, whatever it was later, he actually went to a gold standard and basically rose the price of gold and just set it at $35 an ounce. So he bought it under price and just set the price level. So if you think a president can, change the price of gold before, don't you think it's possible that a president or a nation would want to be the first to set the price of a brand new digital asset or an asset class altogether? And people say, no, this is going to make too many millionaires, but you don't understand what it's actually doing. It's propping up the value. Just like, if there was a price set for gold to be, instead of, $1,700 per ounce, and they set it to 5K or 10K per ounce, this would actually prop up a lot of other markets. And there's multiple benefits. It's not about just making a few people wealthy. It's about, the status of the dollar and the strength. There's many things that go into this. And another point I want to share really quick before we keep going is this was a tweet by Grimace just sharing this and referencing the movie The Big Short. So remember, in The Big Short, when the shorts realized the other side that used to be long bought up enough shorts to offset how wrong they were, and that feels exactly like right now. The people who are long and wrong are propping this up to get on the short side, to make it work in their benefit. So if they already know that they're going to end up shorting it, let's get it even higher and higher and higher before they short it to make even more money. Essentially, a potential crash or suppression of assets. Now, this may have already happened. It's hard to say. This market has been unbelievably volatile, but I just wanted to share that, and that makes such a good point. When they realize they're wrong, how can they hedge and make money? Well, they can pump it even more, print even more money, and then when they're ready to short it, they will, and hopefully get that money back, or potentially break even or even profit. All right, next up, Mr. B XRP had a video today sharing this. I just wanted to kind of touch on this. So he noticed that some trademarks by the company Ripple were dead as of March 2020. So we have Xpool, one of my favorite names. It could, who knows what it was, but again, it could be some type of reserve pool for liquidity purposes. XRP Stort also shows that XVIA, one of the products of X, the X series for Ripple, trademark abandoned, no statement of use filed. And then also we can see X Rapid, so officially dead. This trademark was abandoned on March 30th of 2020. And I think the rebranding to this ODL, on-demand liquidity, was genius. And I also agree with the sentiment. I would love to know who at Ripple or who came up with this name as they kind of rebranded for that global image. All right. And again, you guys can find it right here as well. Trademark service, principal, and it's dead. Next up. So right here, I am Legion, another oldie but goldie. So this is talking about Interledger Protocol. We're talking about Coil and streaming payments. We're talking about Strata Labs, which of course we know their connection with Interledger Protocol, and of course the Spring Initiative, and then Visa. So listen to this and listen to how a few programmers already have it, in terms of scalability, transactions per second. 3 programmers, I believe, already have enough to beat Visa. And listen to this. We're just getting started into developing the Internet of Value, connecting rails, and really get going. But streaming payments will potentially be much bigger than cross-border payments, and most likely could be a part of cross-border payments itself in terms of, batch payments.
A little bit about the numbers that we've gotten to in the few months running Strata. The first one I'd like to talk about is the packets per second. This is pretty impressive. We had an all-time high of over 3,000 packets per second, and that would translate to 170 million per day. Now, the common comparison is Visa, which is doing 150 million per day, but that's honestly just not the right baseline, right? The fact that 3 engineers can beat Visa on a given day just means that they're in the wrong paradigm, and we need even more ambitious, aggressive milestones. A second metric is total payments processed to date. We've done over 5.93 billion packets, and full disclosure, a lot of that has been with Coil, but that's even more impressive, right? Because I don't even think they're like alpha or beta. Like, basically, they're not even trying. A little bit about the...
Now, just imagine when we are trying. And again, coil.com is a must-use website. Highly recommend supporting the platform. And then also, if you do, you have to follow I Am Legion on Coil. Be sure to look up his name as well for some of the best information, written information and blogs and screenshots for the XRP ecosystem ever. All right, right here, Michael Val5 Links sharing this, compliments of XRP Arcade. So as we can see, Buybox Europe now supports XRP with the Euro, the CHF, and the British Pound Sterling. Is that the Swiss franc, I believe? Let me see here. Sorry, I've been reading so many different currencies and I'm totally goofing it up. Yep, Swiss franc. All right, British Pound Sterling. And again, just supporting XRP trades. And this will be starting next Tuesday. So another group and more trading pairs. All right. Next, and this is what we're going to finish up on. I just want to cover this. So XRP_Stort. Now, there's been a lot of talks about XRP with, this real-time payment update and a lot of speculation, hype, conspiracies, nothing new in the XRP community. And I get it because we are excited, but talks about XRP having more than just an international cross-border use case. There's talks about it being used domestically in the country. Now, with walled gardens, that's entirely possible. I'm not going to rule anything out, but as we can see here, this could be just referencing Ripple technology and maybe not even include XRP, but I just want to show you this. So he highlighted this. And this is executive summary for financial institutions, Ripple Labs, Inc. So we can see the speed, and it says domestic. So a typical payment domestically up to 2 days to settle the payment. Now, RippleNet can be used, of course, for clearing to kind of confirm who owes who and kind of get that done. And then settling is actually the transmission of the payment itself. Now, payments via Ripple, and this is assuming the software itself, 5 seconds to settle. Interesting. All right. Now, keep in mind, back in the day, they also call the Ripple and XRP. They use them interchangeably. So I'll just have to look into this. But again, you can kind of see the benefits right here. You can see reserves provided by bank rather than provided by third party. We see full visibility of compliance costs, limited and high costs. We lower the cost. Reconciliation is automatic using RippleNet. Speed and cross-border, 5 seconds to settle, and it's the same, 5 seconds to settle domestically. So it is really interesting. I would love for somebody to, let me know your thoughts down below. Just contact me via Twitter, all right? So now Anders Lundberg just showing this document again. Take a good look at this picture. I promise you it's well worth your time. What do you see? You see a US to US bank and a Korean bank to Korean bank. So let's just take a peek. And I know I've shared this in the past, but we got Euro, Brazilian Real, Japanese Yen, Mexican Peso, Korean Won, USD. And they all use XRP instead of holding a bunch of currencies. Instead of holding 180 different fiat currencies, you can see this. Now, one way I see this actually functioning is, if it was a JP Morgan coin and maybe a Bank of America coin and they don't want to use each other's, they want to interoperate. Now, there's a few other things I want to share. And yes, I'm going to be reading tweets because these are from some smart gentlemen. So, Santiago Vela fellas, nothing precludes what the graphic suggests. The real question is why banks would need to if there's a real-time gross settlement system that does not have any transaction per second limit on domestic transfers. All right? And then next, Anders Lundberg even said, there's a few possibilities. He's not making assumptions, just being open-minded here and sharing information. Number one, banks holding XRP in these Nostro changes, or banks holding XRP in the Nostro accounts changes things. Or two, some countries' domestic payments systems and the rails are so bad you could use a bridge asset instead because the liquidity just isn't there. Now, that's another point of view. I like it. I'm going to basically continue to entertain this. If anybody in the banking industry wants to elaborate and kind of, shed some light on this, I'd appreciate it. And then lastly, we're going to show a tweet by Bob Way, one of the original Ripple employees, at least one of the first 5 to 10 employees of Ripple. So XRP Darren must follow for research. He goes, I believe I can see the future, showing XRP again, the same type of picture. And then, of course, is a multi-currency in the bridge between all of them on a distributed network. Now, Bob Way actually retweets this April of 2019. He says, I like that diagram, but you have to imagine the circle with 180 fiat currencies plus gold, silver, and some crypto assets as well, which could, also be tokenized assets, digital assets, stocks, real estate, etc. Only then do you realize the magnitude of how many direct market combinations, corridors, whatever vernacular you want to use, there are in the top diagram. I like that a lot. So let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I did see that kind of Galgatron was going back and forth and just kind of shedding some light and saying, RTP is awesome. But again, he doesn't believe that XRP will have a use case with that. And I love his blogs. I know some people don't like his opinion on things. I absolutely value it. I think it's really interesting, and we will just simply have to wait. Just like we always say, time will tell. Regardless, I'm not banking on this, but I wanted to kind of open up the discussion while we're waiting and seeing just these low prices for XRP. If XRP, I know RippleNet can have a domestic use, I already know that, and it's software and can help with visibility, I get it. But will XRP play a role in domestic transactions where there's not enough liquidity, where there's a walled garden, and there's issues of trust and counterparty risk? Let me know your thoughts down below. All right, guys, remember to check the links in the description. Tax-free crypto, Roth IRAs, wave exchanges, cold wallets down below. Shout out to Jamie XRP, Mikey, Crypto Beginner, and his website, crypto-beginner.com. Philip and all other top channel members. Appreciate all of you that hit the like button, and I will see you in the next one.